Hello and welcome to another week. It is Sunday and I literally just saw you not too long ago, but that's okay. Saw you. But we're starting a new week and I just wanted to tell you what I planned on reading, sort of. So I do have to, have to is a bad word, still listening to Unravel the Dusk by Elizabeth Lim. Like I said in my last vlog at the end, I'm only like about 30% of the way through, but audiobooks are a little bit harder for me to get through, even though I do enjoy them, and I have listened to a lot of them since I got Libby for COVID. I think I started listening to them right before COVID, and then COVID hit and I was like, oh, look at that, I don't really have time to go to the library, or can't because it's closed. Anyway, so I do listen to them a lot. It's busy season where I work, and I work at a call center, so I can't have two people talking in my head at the same time. So audiobooks are a little bit harder for me, and then I get off work and I don't want to hear people talk in my ear anymore. So there's that. So I'm still working on Unravel the Dusk, still very entertained, still like the storyline, it's pretty good. I also am going to be picking up more books. These books probably will not be finished within the week because I want to read them slowly. Well, the first one I'm going to show you is actually, I'll just tell you. So back in 2017, I decided to pick up a whole bunch of like self-help kind of books just for the fun of it. I don't actually feel like I need help, if that makes sense. But I like to learn without actually being, tested or quizzed or like marked on my ability to retain information. But I do enjoy learning, whether it be like historical learning, self-help learning, doesn't matter. I love learning. I even have subscribed to like the Great Courses Plus just because it's like school, but without the grades or the teacher like hounding you or looking over your shoulder. So I did in 2017, forever and a day ago, picked up 20 Something 20 Everything, which is a book regarding people who are 20 something and their basically quarter life crisis, their 20 something crisis is, I think that's what she calls it. But anyway, what I didn't realize is that this is technically got like workbook things in there, so it's got like exercises to do. Like at one point where this thing is, it wants you to like interview your mom about your mom and two other people around her age, two other women around her age, and interview them about their 20s. So I had it tabbed because I couldn't continue with reading it without having the interview of my mom. So I did that this morning, and I technically need to interview two more people her age, but I don't think I'm gonna do that because that requires talking to people, and I'm not a people person. I may let my mom wants to talk to her sister and see what her sister has to say about those questions, because she actually thought that it was quite interesting, and she wants to know how her sister felt, because when my mom turned 20, she like had a complete life change. She got married at 21 and then moved where I live, which is halfway across the country, and it's totally different. I'll just tell you. So my mom grew up in California and she moved to Texas, and it's quite different. I mean, it's quite different. And it was Texas in like the 80s. So it's like, anyway. So this will be a slow read because there's lots of exercises and it wants you to think and stuff. So I'll probably be working on this for the whole month, to be honest. Although I did only start it like 2 days ago and I am on page 29. And like I said, I would have probably done more had I not needed to interview my mom. I'm also going to be picking up, or picked up, I read the first chapter, Tithe by Holly Black. But again, not again, oh, I haven't told you. Okay, so there are certain books and book series that I want to not read so quickly. I want to take my time with them. The modern day fairy tales, and even, I don't think you can see it, but like up here above my Sailor Moon shelf, there is the Cruel Prince series. Everybody always talks about it, and I am so behind on a whole bunch of series because I was reading whatever I felt like reading, and I didn't pay attention to what was considered popular. I would literally just go to the library and like pick random books and read them. So I didn't know what was popular, what was coming out. I didn't care. And so I'm behind on a lot of them, so we're going to catch up slowly. And I figured Holly Black was safe to pick up now that I am going back to work. It's not going to be one that I'm like, it's not going to be like the Throne of Glass series or A Court of Thorns and Roses. I was like, how is it? Is it Roses and Thorns or Thorns and Roses? And then I was like, it's Akutar Brie. Like, seriously? Anyway, there's a lot. And then I also have like the Shadow and Bone series and Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom that I want to read. I've got like so much that I'm just still behind on. Like, I've never read a single Brandon Sanderson book or Dune. I mean, come on, Brie. Anyway, I was literally reading whatever caught my eye at the library without, I don't read the backs of books either, so no one I know reads. Like, no one I know reads. My sister's husband, he reads, but like, I don't talk to him about books because he's like a lot older than I am, and this is the moment I realize I have no excuse not to talk to my sister's husband about books. Oops. I don't know. I don't see him as much. We did have a book club at one point, and it was super cute, but then they had kids, and that's when I stopped talking to people about books. I'm also going to be picking up The Gilded Ones. I actually won this in a Goodreads giveaway, and I've never won anything in like a legit giveaway from not my business. Not my place of work. Apparently I win all the time at work, but in normal life, no, I've never won anything before. And so I want to do a good actual like reading of this, not just like read it super quick and be done with it. I want to actually like pay attention. Not that I don't pay attention normally, but I want to pay even closer attention than I normally would. That way I can try and do an actual review. I am not good at putting thoughts into actual words that I can write onto paper, so we're picking this up as well. We may pick up other things within the week, but I don't want to do too much. Like, my mom and I, and hopefully my sister and brother-in-law, but not going to hold them to it. They have 4 children and are very busy people, and I'm not going to force them to read this 12 to 1400 page book with me, depending on which translation and which one you have. But last year, or the year before? No. Yeah, last year. Last year, I finally read The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. So, editing Breezy here, and it was 2019. I totally can't tell time. Apparently 2020 didn't happen for me because I was just at home enjoying being at home. So, but yes, I read The Count of Monte Cristo in about August of 2019. So it's been 2 years. And I loved it. This is now possibly my favorite book. It's probably not. It's new to me, and so I love it a lot. My favorite book is Pride and Prejudice, has been Pride and Prejudice since I was like 9 years old. I don't actually know how old I was. All I know is that I started watching Pride and Prejudice with my family whenever it like first came out in 1995, the BBC A&E 6-episode miniseries. I watched that religiously. My sister is 4 years older than I am, and she would watch it all the time, and I love my sister, and we hung out a lot. We're best friends, and so I grew up watching that version of Pride and Prejudice. Then my sister got the audio tapes, that's right, cassette tapes, And we would listen to that all the time for the book. And then I have been reading since before I was in kindergarten. Before, like, they're supposed to teach you how to read in kindergarten, but I already knew. I was reading small chapter books, not like Harry Potter chapter books, but like the smaller ones, the books that are like maybe 100 pages long. When I was already in kindergarten, everybody was like, the pig jumped the fence, and I was like, and the beast was turned into the prince was turned into a beast by a beautiful enchantress, and all that jazz. So there's that. Anyway, so Pride and Prejudice is my favorite book. Pretty much always has been. I've yet to find something that I enjoy reading as much as I enjoy reading Pride and Prejudice, but I think I'm just wholly attached to the characters because they mean so much to me nostalgia-wise. I do know that my sister loves it more than I do. She watches Pride and Prejudice ritually, all 6 hours of it. I'm sure it's like a tiny bit less than 6 hours. 6 episodes that are almost an hour long each, so it's not exactly 6 hours, but it's pretty dang close. It's good. It's good. But anyway, so Count of Monte Cristo. I read this last year. I enjoy the movie, and I know the book is not like the movie with Jim Caviezel at all. I love them both separately, as separate entities, but I've always wanted to read the book because there are so many, like, not adaptations, but there are so many versions of the Count of Monte Cristo, whether they be like TV shows, like Revenge was based on the Count. There's that anime that I can't remember what it's called, but it was based on the Count, but it was told in the point of view of Albert. And speaking of Albert, the Count of Monte Cristo with Jim Caviezel, it is excellent, but also Albert in that is Henry Cavill, and he's so freaking adorable because Albert is supposed to be like 15, 16. I think in the movie he actually says it's his birthday and he's going to be 16, so you should go ahead and watch this. Just don't expect it to be like the book because it's not. But anyway, but I love this book. It is so freaking big. My version is a little bit bigger because when I read it, I did sort of kind of annotate, and I don't like writing in books. I didn't really annotate. I did write in the book in pencil very lightly so that I could easily erase it should it bother me. It doesn't bother me, and I think I'm gonna like full on annotate this, but I have like little sticky notes instead of writing in the book, but the sticky notes just tell me like a brief summary of what happened in that chapter so that if I'm looking for something in particular, I know what happens in what chapter. But anyway, so my mom and I, and hopefully my sister and my brother-in-law, are going to be reading this throughout the whole year, you guys. It's gonna take us the year to read this book. I didn't want to burden them because they're busy. Everybody is busy. I have the most time in my family, which is ridiculous, but it's fine. And so we're gonna read it very slowly. Our goal is to only read 100 pages a month. If my mother, who is she's the busiest out of all of us, if she has the time to read more, she will read more, and then I will let everybody else know that she has read more, and we'll do it then. But we're trying not to put pressure on her. So 100 pages, that's what all my little tabs are for. It's 100 pages to the nearest chapter. And we're gonna go from there, and we're starting this month. I haven't started at all, but only because my mother hasn't started at all. She's been too busy. Well, she did. She read like a couple of pages, but I'm going to be reading this throughout the year. So we'll read 100 pages a month, and I'm gonna crazy annotate it. So also we'll be reading this week since my mother finally picked it up. Let's see. I think that's it. I think I'm going to slowly but surely work on this. Plus, Unravel the Dusk. If I feel the need to pick something else up, I definitely will. I do know that I want to, like I said last week, my goal this month is to finish things, which I've done a pretty good job so far. Finish things, catch up, that kind of thing. I did finish Vicious Spirits, so I finished that duology. If that is a duology, I'm pretty sure it's a duology. I am working on Unravel the Dusk, which is another duology. And I just got the audiobook for This Coven Won't Break, which I think is the end of that one. And I'm thinking about picking up the Toll so I could finally finish the Arc of the Scythe trilogy. I read Scythe and Thunderhead like as soon as they came out, and I got this almost as soon as it came out. I was like a month or two behind in getting it, which is why it's a hardback, because the other two are paperbacks. I'm not a big fan of hardback. I don't mind them. They just take up more room, but they're fun to have. They're nice. So I might start The Toll by Neal Shusterman as well, to catch up there. There are a couple of other audiobooks that I have on loan from my library that I could also pick up that are finishing, but this is what I'm doing for now. Like, if I finish Unravel the Dusk, I'll let you know, and we'll start like probably This Coven Won't Break or something. But this is what I hope to read. Well, only 100 pages of this, but so that's what we'll do, and we'll talk to you when I've made any progress. Maya. Oh, kitty. Oh, they spotted each other. Oh. Maya. Look up here. Maya. Nope, too distracted by her love. Yep. Hello. So it's been a while since we last spoke. It is now Wednesday. Forgot what day it was. But anyway, it's Wednesday, and I kind of sort of have a little bit of an update. Apparently, work keeps me busy. Who'd have thought? But anyway, so I did read more of this. I don't actually remember how far I was into it, or I think I just started this when we last spoke. I'm now almost halfway through. I'm like 110 pages in. I actually went into this knowing absolutely nothing, which I like, because now I could discover, like, whoa, was not expecting this to be as, because I should have expected it to be that way, because it's totally a fairy book, but it's really sexual, and I was like, wow, okay. I don't think this is probably suitable for the grades that it totally says it is in the very beginning of the book. It, like, by the way, I don't know if you didn't know that it had this here. Whenever it has like the little editor's mark here, it has like what grades it's suitable for, which is grades 10 through 12. Whatever. So yeah, I wasn't expecting it though. I wasn't expecting it to be as grungy as it is, which I do like. It was very exciting because I'm like, Fae, even like fairy Fae, you can always like, there's always like a line, like, is it going to be too fantastical and pretty, or is it going to be more dark and gritty? And sometimes it's like in between, and so I didn't realize that this was going to be as grungy, but I like it. Anyway, so I'm about 110 pages in, not even halfway, but I'm not gonna lie, like, the plot didn't even start happening until I was like 70, literally says, and the plot emerges, but it's like 76 pages in, and you're like, oh, that's what's going on. But I like it so far. It's highly entertaining. I've also managed to listen to quite a good deal of Unravel the Dusk since the last time we spoke. I was on 30%. Now I'm on like 78. I'm on part 3, which is The Blood of the Stars. I am interested to see what is actually going to happen in the end. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know what's going to happen with Maya or Eden, or even her family or anything. And I'm not sure how I feel about Lady Sinai. I think that's how you say her name. That's how the audiobook says her name. I'm not sure how I feel about her. Actually, I know exactly how I feel about her, but I'm worried that I'm being too judgmental at the moment, which I guess I can judge books and characters in the books. It's not being judgy, it's just it's fine. Anyway, so I am still enjoying it. It's still good. I'm very interested to see how they're going to end it, because don't really know at the moment, because you never know. Some authors like to just end it tragically to kind of like shock you, or like be like, look, I was different, it ended tragically. But I don't know, so we'll see. But anyway, so I'll keep you updated on that. I probably will finish it tomorrow or the next day. I am gonna focus on actually physically reading now that I'm home. Plus, I still have to prepare for the week. I ran out of salad and pudding, and I ran out of fruit. So I'm very sad. I ate my last jar of pudding yesterday, and I was like, oh no, pudding is all gone. What am I gonna do? So I have to make more. So that's what I have to do, and I will keep you updated. Oh, I am technically reading The Giant. That is the Count of Monte Cristo, as you saw, but I'm only reading like a chapter a day, so I really only read 3 chapters. It was about like maybe 20 pages, but I will let you know more about that when I get to like 100 pages maybe. Anyway, so I'll see you later. So these are my notes for Tithe. I didn't really make them very coherent, but it's funny because like I made myself a characters page and I only wrote down 3 people's names, and I was like, those are probably the only real 3 important ones. And I was right. Look at that. Well, another helpful hint was like the randomness, that these 2 would randomly have point of views. Like, I didn't even know who Cornelius Stone was, but he had his own point of view, and it was very jarring because everything was told in like Kay's point of view. I mean, 3rd person, but still it was like in Kay's point of view. All of a sudden it was like Cornelius Stone, and I was like, what? And then they did the same with Roy Ben, and I was like, okay, so those people must be important. I put down kind of like what they would look like and stuff, because I have a hard time imagining actually like keeping the actual characters in my head. The women not so much, because for some reason I always remember what the women look like. They're very bland, so I don't remember like too in detail, but the men I have a harder time because I want to imagine what I find attractive, and that's wrong. Anyway, so I just have like some notes here and there, just what I thought, because I don't like writing in books, so I just kind of have notes. I also kept track of how many times I used the F word, not because I care about the F word, just because I'm curious to see about, like, you know, in the front of these books, it has who the demographic is, like who it was made for, and this says 10th through 12th grade, which would be like anywhere from 14 to 18 year olds. I was 15 to 17. And technically, I mean, this would totally be an R-rated movie, which means it should be like 18 plus. They use the F word multiple times, which I do believe you're only allowed to really use it once in a movie. I mean, you can definitely make appeals, if it is not well used, but you can definitely do appeals. There are some PG-13 movies that do have the F word in there more than once. But you have to definitely make appeals to do so. And also just other reasons for making movies R-rated instead of PG-13 definitely appear in here, like graphic violence, continually graphic violence. Like, you're allowed some violence in PG-13. You're allowed, actually, to be quite fair, quite a bit of like violence, but the more realistic it is and the amount that keeps happening, yeah, so this would definitely be a rated R movie. So I'm not sure if I agree with the demographic that is supposedly written in here, but we all secretly know that YA marketing is really for people like women in their 20s. I mean, obviously it is written for teenagers as well, and teenagers can read this. It's just, I don't understand why they say it's specifically for them. Just because the main girl is in high school does not mean that this should be read only by high schoolers. I say that it should be read by more adult, like people in their 20s and 30s. You know what?
people of all ages can read it. But I think their targeted demographic is just interesting because, like, it says in here, audience grades 10 through 12. And I'm just like, wow. I don't agree with that. But I mean, it's fine. So I just got back from my nephew's 6th birthday party. He's getting so big. Anyway, it was humid and hot and I melted, but I'm here now, back at home, and I may or may not have taken a slight nap. Woke up feeling refreshed, so that's good. But now I figured it's been a little bit and I should probably update you on reading, since that's what you do in a vlog. But I finished Unravel the Dusk by Elizabeth Lim and I enjoyed it. It was good. I mean, it wasn't amazing, and I don't know, it was one of those where it was like, it just, one thing stuff just kept happening. I was like, all right, where are you gonna take this now? Oh, you took it there. Yeah, okay. And I couldn't really tell where it was going for a very long time. But then something happened and Maya turned into the thing that she was most likely going to turn into, and I kind of called what version of the thing that she was going to turn into was. Very cryptic, I know. And I don't want to do too much spoilers, since I don't really put spoiler warnings at all in any of these, but that's okay. So it was good. I'm probably going to give it 3 stars, so yay to that. But I enjoyed it greatly. And then I am also really close to finishing Tithe. I've got 58 pages left. Can I just say that going into books knowing absolutely nothing about them is an adventure. I mean, I love it. I've always loved it because, like, I pick something up either based on the title, the cover, or the fact that other people are reading it, and I'm like, oh, that looks okay. And they're like, I listen to what they have to say about it, but I never listen to synopses. I don't read the backs of books. I don't like it. Backs of books tend to be super spoily for me, and so I just don't do it. And so, like, I literally picked this up knowing that it was called The Modern Fairy Tales, and I knew it was gonna be like fae, like, not, oh, look at the pretty fairies, it's so magical, but like, please don't eat or drink anything, please don't tell them your name, please just don't hang out with the fae, okay? Let's not do it. But I knew that wasn't gonna happen, but I didn't expect it to be as gritty and grungy and violent as it is. Some of the descriptions in here, I was like, whoa, wow, all right. I don't agree with this grades 10 to 12 thing, because, like, if this was made into a movie, it would be most likely rated R, but we'll talk about that later. But I am enjoying it. I mean, it's different. I've never really read any fae stories, so I was never really into it. More of a vampire fan. I've loved vampires since I was really young. Watched Interview with the Vampire at an age I probably shouldn't have been watching Interview with the Vampire, but it was on TV, so they cut out a lot of the nudity and cussing. They made it a TV okay movie back in the 90s. So let me tell you, the first time I watched Interview with the Vampire on my DVD that I have, I was like, whoa, that was never in the movie on TV. Interesting. I still love it though. It's good. Listed. But we're not talking about Interview with the Vampire. It's fine. But anyway, so I'm enjoying that. I've got 58 pages left. I may do like a little clip of a couple of the quotes or lines in there that I either really liked. I don't know if it's really liked, but I found them more interesting and, like, not thought-provoking, but like, oh, like, I never even thought to look at that way. So I may insert that here. I may not. You may never see that. You'll probably see it in a different video. But anyway, so it's very interesting right now. She kind of does annoy me. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I'm supposed to like her or not, or be rooting for her. I also, when I read books like this that I know are the target audiences, specifically say, right, the 10th through 12th grade. So for me, that would have been 15 through 17. And so I try to think, okay, well, what was I like back then? What did I know specifically about Faye back then? Which was not a lot, but like I knew the important stuff, like eat or drinking, no names. There's something I know I'm missing. I know I'm missing something, but I can't think of what it is. And so I figured she having, is this a spoiler? I don't know if this is a spoiler. Just in case, this may be a spoiler. Close your ears for like 5 seconds. I'll like put my hand up here, and when it comes down, come back. But anyway, so I figured that she having like friends who are Fae and growing up with them, that she would know that what not to do and more about Fae, and she wouldn't randomly go to the court of the bad Fae and be like, I'm gonna drink and eat stuff. I mean, at that point, I guess she knew she was like some sort of Fae, so she figured it was okay. But like, she left corny, and like it was obvious that he was gonna follow. He's that type of person. So anyway, so that kind of annoyed me. So moving on. So yeah, so that's interesting. I don't think what I said was like too spoilery, but at the same time, I wouldn't have wanted to hear it had I been watching this video about a book that I haven't read yet. But yeah, there are little things. I'll probably go into more detail later about them, but it's good. And I only have 58 pages, so I do want to finish that today. I have a good chunk. It's not even 6 o'clock here yet, so yeah, so that's where I've been. Work is interesting. It's super loud still. I get so distracted. It turns out I'm kind of a nosy person. I have good hearing. What can I say? But my nosiness may or may not have made it to where I have to start training someone on Monday. Yay! If I do end up training this person, it'll be my 6th person at this company to train. 7th person at this company. Okay, wait. Sixth or 7th. I don't know. I'm probably missing somebody. But so it'll be interesting. I will have less time to myself. So I may not read as much. Not that I get to read that much at work, but whenever you're training someone, your like break and lunchtime tends to get screwed up because you have to like let them go on break, and sometimes they don't really go on break. They want to sit and talk to you because they want to make a friend since they're new, and you feel like you need to introduce them to your other coworkers so that they have more people to go to. And we're pretty close in customer service where I work. My coworkers were all of us pretty much get along with each other. We may have like the normal tiny little upsets here and there, but we all talk to each other all day long. Well, not all day long. That sounds like all we do is talk to each other all day long. None of us are afraid to talk to anybody. None of us are left out of anywhere. Everybody talks to everybody. There's no cliques. There's no like bullying. Nothing like that goes on. And so like whenever you're a newbie, that can be kind of intimidating because everybody knows everybody, and we know what's going on in each other's actual lives, and we're all friends. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is we're all friends, and or at least work friends. I don't hang out with anybody outside of work because lazy. I'm a hermit. If I could just stay in my room all day and not go anywhere, I would. But yeah, so you have to like introduce them, and not have to, but I mean it's nice if you do, and kind of be like their wingman so they have like a point of contact that they feel comfortable with. But you have to like pave the way to where they feel comfortable with everyone, and that's gonna take up the little time I did have to read at work. So I get like 15-minute breaks. 2 15-minute breaks. I don't always get those, but here in Texas, that's not illegal, so it's fine. And then on my 30-minute lunch break, sometimes I don't want to read. Sometimes I just want to watch whatever Asian drama that I'm rewatching at that point in time. And it has to be a rewatch because there's no way I could stop watching a drama I've never seen before. Like, I downloaded Prince of Tennis because I'm watching Prince of Tennis on my phone from Netflix, and I can't like watch it and then like stop watching it. I'm not even like that absorbed in Prince of Tennis, but it's like, it's new and I do get sucked into the worlds that I'm in, and I don't like getting distracted and like being reminded that I'm not in their world, because it takes away from the experience for me. So if I watch an episode and they're like 45-minute episodes and I only have a 30-minute lunch break, so I really only get to watch like 25 minutes, and if it gets interrupted, I'm like, I need to know what happens, and I can't watch it while I'm working because that's bad. So I have to watch something I've already seen. So I may or may not be watching this, the live action version. I don't know. I'm totally watching The Untamed, okay, for like the 8th time because I love it. But we're not going to go into The Untamed because that's a discussion all in itself. And I love it. It's good. But anyway, so there we go. Those are my updates for now, and I'm going to read and get back to you later. Bye. What is he leading me to? Hello, Pajami. It's my kitty. Alright, hello. It is Sunday, and we're just going to start to wrap up this vlog. So I did manage to finish 2 books this week. I'm in the middle of 3. I don't actually know. I finished Unravel the Dusk, and I also finished Tithe by Holly Black. More in-depth thoughts on this. I liked it. It was weird. It was different. It was more sexual than I thought it was going to be, or it wasn't more sexual than I thought it was going to be. It was just sexual in a different way. I was thinking, you know, like, fae, like, of course it's going to be that way, but that's not what was sexual. It was humans. It was weird. It was weird. It was different. Editing Breezy here again. So I couldn't think of a way to explain it, I guess, well enough while I was talking, but what I meant by sexual in a different way, it was more sexual assault. So trigger warnings for sexual assault, sexual in like more like dubious consent kind of things. Not with our main character, and it's never like described on screen. Well, some of it is, so trigger warnings for that, but for like the more dubious consent one, it's more like someone's musings about it afterwards. So it was not in like a romantic sort. It's not in a romantic sort of way. Apparently I'm going Irish, which is a very horrible Irish accent. That was a weird accent. Anyway, so trigger warnings for that, and that's what I meant by it was sexual in a different way. I thought it would be more like beautiful fae, human girl, very pretty things. Oh my gosh, yes, now they're having sex. That's what I was thinking it was gonna be, and that's not what it was like at all. It was more, like I said, dubious consent and sexual assault and weird. So that's why I'm like, it was sexual more than I thought it would be, but different. That's what I meant. Okay, enough for me. Bye. I did enjoy it. I probably am gonna give it 3 stars. I'm not actually sure. I'll probably go into more detail later when I finish the trilogy, because right now there are a lot of things that could possibly be the way it is simply because I haven't read 2 and 3 yet. So that is my thought on those. I also have some thoughts regarding the targeted audience for this book. It does say 10 to 12, and I don't think it's 10 to 12th grade, but I don't know. I would have read it in 10 to 12th grade. I just don't think that we should be marketing it to that, but so there's that. I also finished Unravel the Dusk, which was cute. It was very enjoyable. I enjoyed myself. It was, like I said earlier, something where I didn't know where it was going. Not like in like a good, like, oh, I had no idea where this is going kind of way, but like it just kept going and going, and even more stuff was happening, and I was just like, okay, where are you taking this? And it did have that classic kind of journey ending, which is like not overly like, oh, it was kind of one of those like more realistic, let's not hold each other back kind of ending. So I enjoyed it. I am also going to give that 3 stars, so it was quite enjoyable for me. I also may not have read last night, and instead I watched the ending to the actual show for Neon Genesis Evangelion, and I enjoyed it immensely, and I definitely have some thoughts about those last couple of episodes because I watched it late at night and my brain was like, whoa, you want me to think right now? Like, you want me to use my brain right now? Okay. So I do need to actually process the ending. I also have to watch the 2 movies. Are there 2 or are there 3? I know there are at least 2 more on Netflix, I think. There's one, it's like called The End of Evangelion, and then there's the other one, which I'm not sure what it's called. My brother will tell me. He's a big fan. But, so I do have to watch those, so I'm not gonna say anything about the ending till I've seen everything that's out, and then we'll see how I feel about the ending of Evangelion. But anyway, I enjoyed that. I was like sucked. I was just gonna watch like a couple of episodes last night. I was like, I'll just watch like 2 episodes and we'll stop and we'll read something. No. I watched all of the remaining 6 I had left, so it was good. I was intrigued. He did warn me that it was going to be very philosophical, so I did have at least that warning. So when it came and I was like, oh, this is what he's been talking about. Okay. Anyway, so that's where we're at right now. I picked up another audiobook because I like to have one continuously going. When I finish one, I like to have another one going because I decided I'm going to listen to audiobooks instead of music in the morning when I'm getting ready. So when I finished one, I was like, well, what do I do? So like while I'm washing my face and stuff, I listen to the audiobooks. So I picked up This Coven Won't Break, which should be the ending to that little, I don't know if it's like a duology. Is it a duology? I don't know, because I've read like 3 or 4, because there's also that little short story that you can read digitally. But so I did pick that up. I'm about 20% of the way through with that, just like 2 hours maybe. I'm enjoying it. It's finally coming ahead with like certain blood witches and other things that happened in the other book, so it's kind of interesting to see all the storylines combine into one. So it's nice to see where it's headed. So it's very entertaining at the moment. I also did read about maybe only 50 pages of The Count of Monte Cristo, but that's probably going to be like a year-long read since I am reading it with family members who do not have time to read as much as I do. I'm still reading that 20-something, 20 everything book. There's so many like exercises that they want you to like write down answers to questions and ponder, and I haven't gotten very far on it. And then I didn't have time to start the Gilded ones. I need to manage my time better. I get distracted and then I go on like YouTube and just watch a whole bunch of like adorable things on YouTube, like Cho-chan, back when he was in our song, and he sings and it's adorable and he's so cute and adorable. Anyway, it's besides the point. So that's where we're at right now. I'm probably gonna go mess with my cat and maybe read. I don't know, we'll see, but I'll see you then. In case this is actually the end of my vlog and I don't actually see you till next week, thanks for hanging out with me. You have a wonderful rest of the week.